Hello, everybody, and welcome to another free preview of California Psychics with today's featured Psychic Zack. He is a veteran and fan favorite of ours at California Psychics and these live streams, so we're glad to have him back again today. How are you doing, Psychic Zack?
I'm very good, thanks, Carson. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's another Monday live, and I always love doing these, so we are ready to go. I do have a few bits of information before we get started for our customers. If you use the code LIVE5 as scrolling on the bottom of your screen, and you are a new customer with us at California Psychics, after you enjoy this free preview of Psychic Zack and his abilities and this free preview of California Psychics, you can use that code LIVE5 to gain an extra $5 with us with your first reading. We'll be shouting out Psychic Zack's exact little bit of there's two Zacks there. We'll be shouting out Zack's exact schedule later in the stream. But before we get started, I also want to list off some ground rules for questions today. We will not be able to answer any legal or medical questions. For medical, this can include treatments, medications, pregnancies, and fertility questions. And for legal, this can include court cases, custody battles, and just general court decisions. If you do ask about another person, please make sure you include at least their first name. This will allow Psychic Zack to connect faster and more accurately answer your questions today. But without any further ado, Zack, if you're all ready, we can go ahead and begin answering some questions.
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right. We have one right here from Diana, who is asking for just a general love reading. Now, Zack, I know you also brought your crystals with us today, so you may want to pull out both your cards and crystals if you want to use those to give Diana some answers.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I've got a big bowl actually here that you can see them of all different crystals. So sometimes I just dive in and pick one of them at random, just as much as I could a card. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do a little crystal reading for her straight away and see what we get here. Oh wow! Right, so starting off here with a piece of rose quartz, which is actually a really good crystal when it comes for love. Now, one of the nice things about crystals is you can use these to really manifest things. You know, if you want to attract somebody or something towards you, you can place that crystal by them, or you could even send it them as a gift in the post. They might just think it's a nice decorative thing, but actually it will really work for you. And rose quartz is actually a crystal which is really, really effective for love, Diana. I'm holding this crystal now as I'm just tuning into the vibes around you. I know you've not mentioned anybody specific here, but I am getting a specific person coming through who I feel you are seeking, where the connection is not necessarily as you would like it to be. With this comes perseverance and persistence. And I say persistence because I think sometimes with this person, you keep sort of going back to them and they sort of keep pulling away. And you're almost at that stage now where you're thinking, do you know what? I'm just going to forget this and move on. And I think if you could ask a question, the question may well be, should I just move on? And I would have to say no, because with persistence coming through here, Diana, this is telling me it's worth the wait. And it's always worth just waiting another day or another week longer with this. So stick with it. That person that you're looking for will come through for you. So please don't give up. And that's my message to you, Diana.
All right. Great way to start us off today. Next one for us, Zack, is going to be from Cloudy from Facebook. Will Chris come back to Cloudy, and will they have a thriving relationship? I also want to shout out just Diana saying thank you for that last reading. Just wanted to show you real quick. So thank you, Diana, for your question, by the way.
You're welcome, Diana. You know, I don't think I've seen it done this way before. But I can see everyone's picture this time, which is actually quite nice. And Cloudy, you've got such a lovely face and energy and aura. And it's really nice to be able to tune into that. If you know this Chris guy that's left you, he must have rocks in his head. I mean, the energy that's coming from you is amazing. It really is. What I would say here, Cloudy, is yes, he will. He's made some big mistakes, actually, and I think you know what those mistakes are. He's in a reflective period, and he needs to really think and get his head in the right place. But he will do that. I'm getting. Do you know what? I'm getting this M letter, and I was thinking we're in May already, so I don't think it's going to be that far off. I do sense it's the month of May, more towards the end, and the 29th is coming through to me for some reason. So you look out for him on the 29th of May contacting you. That's what I would say there, Cloudy.
All right. And I did also like this comment from Allison. I think every Chris has rocks in his head. Just a little fun. But yes, Cloudy, we hope it all works out for you. Please do keep us updated for sure. And thank you for your question as well. Our next one is going to be from Marie, who is asking, Dana. She is asking about her relationship with Dewan. Are they going to work out and be a happy couple in the end? Or do you think it's going to be better interest for Dana to look elsewhere?
Let's have a look, Dana. I've got my big chunk here of rose quartz. This isn't going my thing, but it is the love crystals. I'm just going to hold this whilst we tune into Dewan and see what comes through. You know, with him at the moment, there's an awful lot of distraction, and I think you know that. And deep down, I think you know that whilst he shows you attention, and I think will continue to show you attention, I question his ability to be able to commit in a time scale that is suitable for you. And I put that in as a caveat because I think you want this to happen quite quickly, and why wouldn't you? He's not going to be able to deliver in that time scale. If you're prepared to wait until he's ready, and I know I'm being told here you've already waited long enough. I can almost feel like a kicking coming through. I've waited that long. I know you have, love. If you can't wait any longer, move on. It's going to be a while. We're probably talking 3 to 4 months before he's ready to give you that commitment. He'll be there. He'll be flirty. He will be in your life. He'll be very wishy-washy, but he won't be giving you that solid commitment. So you just need to decide if that's what you absolutely want.
Amazing. All right. Our next question is going to be from Jen. And thank you, by the way, Dana, for your question, by the way. Next one is, yes, from Jen. She would love to understand what is going on and where the relationship is headed between her and Kevin, who she is interested in. Is this one going to be the one for Jen?
Kevin. Let's just have a look at Kevin. Kevin. I'm getting a lot of sports coming up around Kevin, football kind of antics and things like that. And I feel that he's putting his friends perhaps a bit too much before this relationship. Friends are important, but obviously sometimes you have to make those sacrifices in order to move forward in love. This is going to be one of those, I think, Jen, whereas if you pull away from him, he's going to realize and have that sort of reality moment where he thinks, oh, where's Jen gone? You know, because he's taken his eye off the ball, forgive the pun, while we're talking about football and mates and things. So I would say with this, you're going to need to pull back a bit in order to let him move forward. The thing is, there's a lovely energy between you both. And I think that you are heading in a good direction. And I think you can have a good relationship. He just needs to learn to balance friends and personal life. And I think he will. He just needs that little bit of a push from you, unfortunately. So back off for a bit, give him a bit of space, and he'll realise that he's about to lose you and come running forward.
All right. Great answer, Zach. We've really been kicking it off with some good insight today. All right. Our next one is from Ava. Aloha. Ava. Ava is wondering, Zach, when do you see her meeting a new soul connection? She has not crossed paths yet, and timeline predictions have come and gone. She's really looking for insight. So any may help, by the way, Zach.
Yeah, of course. Well, what I would say to you, first of all, Ava, is don't worry too much about the timeline with things. I think because of free will, everybody can have slightly different timelines. But what I always say to my clients is, we can absolutely see the outcome. The timing may vary a little bit because of all the factors and all the mechanics that go into it. So obviously you've been told, and I will confirm, that there will be a new soul connection coming in for you. And I say new, but I don't actually think it's that new. I think this is somebody that one of the people you've spoken to before has already seen. And I think this is perhaps one of these timelines that have come and gone. Now, what I would say to you about this is when you have a soul connection, your time path has to be dictated to by that soul connections person because we're locked into that person. That person is your soul connection. So if they, for example, failed an exam and got to resit it and therefore got to do a load of studying, that's going to impact the overall time scale. So this person is going to come towards you. You're probably not going to like what I'm going to say here because it's later on in the year. I am getting sort of end of August, beginning of September time, just to set your expectations. But when it's a soul connection, it's absolutely worth waiting for. And what I would say in the meantime, still have fun, go out, enjoy yourself, be yourself, because that's what this person's going to be attracted to, you and your unique personality. So go out and have fun. But he will be coming in, and like I say, round about end of August, beginning of September time.
Great insight, Zach. Again, this is for Ava on YouTube. I see you're asking your question a couple more times. Just want to make sure, again, Ava on YouTube, you got your question answered. Now we are about 15 minutes in. I want to remind everybody that if you are enjoying this free preview of California Psychics and the services we offer, and with our featured psychic, Psychic Zack, you can reach all of our psychics, including Psychic Zack, on CaliforniaPsychics.com or our California Psychics app, where you can reach them over phone call, offline messaging, so kind of like text-based, and online messaging, so just kind of that online messenger. But for those who are wondering and have been enjoying this free preview of Psychic Zack and his abilities today as our featured psychic, Zach, can you let everybody know when is the very next time you are going to be online at California Psychics for those who want to reach you for that one-on-one reading experience, away from the live stream, away from anybody else, where you can really dive deep and get personal? And also, what is your regular schedule throughout the week for those who maybe want to reach out later on?
Sure. So just before this live, I cleared my queue to make sure it was empty. So if anyone is in my queue after this, I will jump on. So that will be in about 45 minutes time. And I will clear my queue down again. After that, I will be available from 8 p.m. Pacific time, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And then similar next week. So normally 8 p.m. Pacific time, and I think that is about 5 p.m. is it Eastern time? I'm not sure. I'm in the UK, but yeah, certainly 8 p.m. Pacific time anyway.
And if you want to find out any of that other information Jack just mentioned, you can click the link in the description of the live stream you're watching right now. It'll pull up Psychic Zack's page on CaliforniaPsychics.com, where you can go ahead and book an appointment with him, hop right into his call queue, or send him a message. And also, if you're having any troubles booking with any of our psychics, including Psychic Zack, you can give our customer care line a call and say, hey, I want to get a reading with Psychic Zack, and they will be able to book you at a time that works for both you and Psychic Zack. So go ahead and give Zack a call right after this. Like he said, he's getting on just to go ahead and clear his queue. So you might have a chance to get a more insightful reading, especially if you got a question answered today. We still have a little bit more time. So our next one is going to be from Mesha. Mesha, Zack, can you tell her, where do you see the relationship between her and Brandon going? Is it going to be a prosperous one, or one where she may have to look somewhere else.
Do you know what? I think it's a very interesting word that you used here, Misha, when you've described this. And I'm just homing in on the word going here, because I'm sensing that there is distance, and I mean geographical distance here, or there is going to be geographical distance. And I think that's what's going to potentially cause you a problem further down the line. So whether this is someone going away to university or the military or something like that, it looks like there's going to be an extended period of absence. And then, of course, that puts you into the territory of long distance relationships. And does that work or does it not? There is a nice energy between you, but there is also stress around the situation. And when I say the situation, I don't mean the relationship. I don't think that it's a question that you guys are not compatible. I think the external circumstances surrounding it are putting pressure and squeezing that relationship. So the answer to your question is, I think it's going to be tough. I think those external pressures are going to continue, but tough is not impossible. And you can both find a way to work through this. But you need to sort of have a bit of a belt and braces approach to this. It is going to be a bit of a rough ride. But I do think you can find a way to make it work, Misha.
All right. Our next question, and thank you, Misha, for your question as well, is from Alicia. Alicia is asking, yesterday, Zach, that she was supposed to meet someone named Christian from online dating. He said he was too tired from working late to drive to meet. He rescheduled to meet for this upcoming Sunday. Is it possible they will have a good connection when they meet? Any predictions or insight into this relationship will be helpful. Thank you for your question, by the way, Alicia.
Let's have a look, Alicia. So, I mean, what's coming through here, Alicia, with this is it's a bit of a non-sort of caring approach, I feel. Yes, he was tired. Did he know he was going to be tired in advance? Was it a surprise that he was working late on that day, that he'd made that arrangement? No, I don't think it was. I do get questions here surrounding his commitment. I think it's looking a bit ropey for Sunday. I would just say, and do you know what? The other thing that's coming in here, Alicia, and I know it's not directly related to your question, but I actually see you meeting somebody, and I see you meeting them very, very organically. So I'm not dissing dating sites. They absolutely have their place. But that's not how I'm seeing you meeting this person. I'm seeing you meeting them quite by chance and quite organically on a Thursday, interestingly enough. I'm not saying it's going to be this Thursday, but that's the day of the week that's coming through. So, I mean, keep messaging him. I don't think he's going to come up trumps for you, darling, to be honest. I just don't get that great energy. But in a way, you'll be glad, because when this other person comes in, you're not going to have that distraction. And that is around the corner. We are talking end of May, beginning of June for that to happen for you. So don't worry. You will be happy in love, Alicia. I promise you that.
Great insight, Zach. Our next question for today is going to be from Tiffany, who is asking for just a general love reading between Tiffany and Darren, please, Zach.
Tiffany and Darren. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, Tiffany, I'm getting external influences coming through here, and that normally means interference. And this is on the side of Darren. So I feel that this is perhaps a close friend, maybe a family member who is influencing on what to do. I feel that they perhaps have views and opinions on you, which are perhaps quite unfounded. And he can be easily led. But actually, Darren really likes you, and he should not be pulled away by these other people and these other people's opinions. And I will always say to you, love will always find its way through. So try not to take to heart some of the things that get said and how they come through. Try not to over analyze things. Be yourself, be happy, give him all the love in the world, and he will give it back to you. And all this other stuff around it will start to go away. And these people who are interfering, who are quite jealous, actually, I think, in their own way, they will go into the background. And I do see a long relationship between you and Darren, and a very happy one as well. So, yeah, I think it's going to be nice for you.
All right. Our next question. We got a thank you from earlier as well from Ava. Thank you, Zach. I do remember we answered Ava's question. Our next one, though, is from Candace. She is wondering if Ricky is moving in together soon. They are in a long distance relationship at the moment. So any insight into when they will finally be able to be fully together will be helpful.
Okay. I think with long distance relationships, invariably they either go one of two ways. You either become stronger because you manage to maintain this relationship through such huge distances, and I've read for people that have got really long distance relationships, or the strain of it just makes you crumble. And I actually think with you guys, you are actually strong and have maintained, a huge amount of loyalty to each other, despite this gap. I do see that Ricky wants to move towards you. I do see he's quite frustrated, actually, not with you, with people that are influencing him. So I think in order for him to make this move, I don't know whether this is going to involve some sort of remote work or some hybrid work or some kind of initial stage to get him to be able to move towards you. But he's been fighting really hard for that. And therefore he's been fighting really hard for you. So yes, you will move in together. The big question here, Candy, is how soon is soon? I don't know what you're thinking, but we're probably looking round about September time, just to set your expectations there from the way it comes through to me.
Perfect. Great insight. We are really cranking them out today. Our next one is gonna be from Amanda, who's asking, she's having a job interview tomorrow. Do you see her getting a job offer from this opportunity tomorrow?
All right. Right, let's have a look, Amanda. And just tune into this. Okay, I'm getting a good energy from it. It is competitive, Amanda, as I'm sure you are aware. I do see you being shortlisted. There are a lot of sort of comings and goings in this. And there's going to be a lot of free will on the side of the recruiter. But what I will say is I do see you changing jobs soon. I do see increase in salary for you. And I do see happiness. And what is coming forward is a clear, defined career goal. And I think at the moment you've been a bit stagnated and you've not known what your pathway is to move forward. So that is going to come through. Now, I can't 100% say it's going to be this job, but if it's not, it's going to be another job and it is going to happen really quite quickly. So my gut feeling is saying yes, but if it's not, then there will be another one which comes very soon for you, Amanda, and your career path will get on track. Interestingly, once you get this next role, you won't be in it for very long. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I think you'll really hit the ground running. Another opportunity will come along, and that's going to allow you to progress further more quickly. There is something coming through here with maternity. So I think that you will probably end up working up to cover somebody who goes off on maternity leave. And in doing so, take another band up, if you like, quite quickly. So your career pathway is very positive there, Amanda, and I would be very happy if it was me looking at what you're going to be looking at in the future. So don't worry.
Perfect. Next question is going to be from, and also thank you, Amanda, for your question. But from Pam, who is asking, when will Mark stop being distant, by the way?
Okay. Well, hello, Pam. I know Pam. She's one of my clients who comes through to me from time to time. So welcome. So what I want to say about this is that I know there's been an awful lot of challenges here. And there's been challenges around, significant mental health and to a certain extent issues with addiction as well, which can be very, very challenging for anybody to deal with. When I read Mark at the moment, he is in a very difficult place, and for anybody that's been through anything like this, it's so hard for the person, but for the person who's there as the support, it's even harder, because you've got to be strong for yourself when you've got an awful lot going on yourself, and be strong for that other person, and that's not easy at all. He is in a situation at the moment where he needs to sort himself out. He's come so far, but the aftermath of the problems he's dealing with are now catching him up. And he needs to think, how am I going to resolve that in order to move forward? And that's causing him to have depression and further mental health issues, which is making him be distant from you. I do think you will get things back on track, because there is a strong energy between you. There has always been a strong energy between you. If I had to say exactly when I think he's going to stop being distant, I would say we are looking at another couple of months that he will be in touch with you, but it's going to be sporadic, and it's not going to be as and when you want it to be. And there are going to be issues with communication, particularly with phones and things like that. And I think that's something which he needs to get to the bottom of, because I don't think he's been entirely truthful with you about when he can access his phones and data and things like that. And that is, of course, going to be, a frustration to you, because you want the absolute truth. But do you know what? You're such a good person. You have the most wonderful energy, and he would be a fool to distance himself from you for too long. And your spirit guides, your dad up there in spirit, will be looking over you and providing healing for him, and you will come back together. I'm very confident about that. You've just got this journey to go down, and I will be with you every step of the way on that journey, my darling. I really will.
Perfect. And I think that's also a good segue, now that we're about halfway through our live stream. Pam is one of Psychic Zack's regulars. So if you're wanting to connect with Psychic Zack or any of our other psychics, especially after viewing this free preview of California Psychics with our featured psychic, Psychic Zack, Psychic Zack has been doing a great job answering these questions. So if you want to reach out through CaliforniaPsychics.com or California Psychics app, where you can give him a call through phone call, offline messaging, so almost text-based, or online messaging, where both of y'all are online at the same time. And you can do that by either clicking the link in the description of the live stream you're watching right now. That will pull up Psychic Zack's profile, where you will be able to book that appointment with him or hop right into his call queue. But Zack, for those who want to hear you say it, because you've been saying everything so well today so far, when is the very next time you're going to be online, for those who do want to kind of connect away from the live stream and away from everybody else in a one-on-one experience, and your regular schedule throughout the week?
So I will jump online straight after this. So if there's anybody that's jumped in my queue, I will certainly clear that. And then 8 p.m. And I don't do every day of the week. It varies each week, which helps me and helps you if you've got the same schedule every week. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week, I will be on at 8 p.m. And then next week it's slightly different days, but it will be 8 p.m. again.
All right. And if you're having any trouble booking with Psychic Zack, you can always give our customer care line a call at California Psychics. And you can say, I want a reading with Psychic Zack or any of our other psychics on our website. And they will be able to book you at an appointment that works for both you and the psychic of your choice.
I also
So
do direct messages as well. So if anybody can't get hold of me at a particular time, do send me a direct message and I can respond to you that way as well.
yes, and direct message on californiapsychics.com, not social media. Psychic Zack does not have any social media profiles like Facebook or YouTube. Those people are not associated with California Psychics. If you do happen to get a friend request, just a reminder. But we still have about 30 minutes to go of this live stream. And in about 15 minutes, we will be switching over to kind of a card pull, a little bit quicker answer section, just to make sure we can get some more questions answered for free today. Next one is from Kia, who is asking for a career reading, please. Any career insight will be helpful for Kia. She has been out of a job for a while now.
Okay, let's have a look here and see. So this is nothing to do with ability. I think it's really important to make that point there. I can see that you've done very well. You've got very good qualifications and credentials, and I think you're aiming very high. And you should. There's. I would always say to an aim, reach for the stars. And you'll not be disappointed. I think in this instance, because I'm sensing what you do can be quite specialist in some ways as well, I would say just perhaps take a little bit of a step back. Sometimes, if you park in a parking space, you've got to reverse out and go backwards before you can go forwards. And I would just say, do something maybe slightly lower. I mean, I'm not saying sell yourself short, but maybe set your bar a little bit lower in a company that you really want to work for, because you will move up really quickly. I think if you do that, and it will stick in your throat a bit, because you will think, no, I'm better than this. I want this. And absolutely so you should. But I think by doing that and getting yourself known and being in the role and proving yourself to the company will get you to where you want to be quicker than keeping knocking on doors and getting people to see how wonderful you are, because it is a very competitive market out there. I think if you take that approach, you will get a job relatively quickly, certainly over the summer. And I would see you in employment by, in a job in the field that you're looking for by the end of June. I have to say, not a career question as such, but linked to it. When I look at your financial situation, it does look to improve quite dramatically by the end of the year. So that does suggest that you've got quite a nice salary coming in, which will continue to come in. So by the time you're in December, you are going to feel much better off.
All right, Zach. Some great insight. And Kia, thank you for your question today. You'll keep us updated as well.
Oh, yes, please do. Yeah.
Yes, please. Charlotte is asking, Charlotte from Facebook. Hi, Zach. Hope you're doing well. She would like to know if her person of interest, Devontae, and her will be in a committed relationship within the next few months. Any specific dates or times are appreciated. Please and thank you, and appreciate your time with us today. And thank you for your question, Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte. Right, let's have a look. 924. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, do you know what's coming through, Charlotte? I think you're probably going to disagree with me here, but I'm just giving you the man's perspective. So, do forgive me. So I think from Devontae's perspective, he feels already that he's in a committed relationship with you, but you don't feel that you're in a committed relationship with him, because the definition of that commitment and the thought in both of your heads is probably, very different. So Devontae hasn't got any plans to pull away from you or not to be with you. His energy is very much aligned towards you, but he's somebody who doesn't seem to like labels. So to say, oh, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, or oh, we're engaged, or with that, He's more, let's just go with the flow. We are what we are. We're together. We're exclusive or whatever. And for you, you just want to firm it down a bit and say, no, this is what we are. Let's have that label. But actually, the label is secondary because it's the energy that's the most important thing. So what I would keep saying is, just go along with this. What you don't want to do is put too much pressure on him, because if you put pressure on him, he's the type of person that's going to pull back, and that's actually going to set you back on this journey. So just sort of say, okay, fair enough. I'll accept it for what it is at the moment. And very naturally and very organically, you will get to that stage where you are in a committed relationship. So to answer your question, yes, you will be in a committed relationship by your definition, not by his, by your definition within the next few months. I would say you're asking specific times. I mean, I don't think I can give you an hour of the day when this is necessarily going to happen. But I would say, certainly by July, I think you're going to feel that way. I get the 2nd and 3rd of July coming through as significant. I have to be careful when I get those sort of dates because I'm in the UK. So sometimes I get the 2nd. I think maybe it's the 3rd because you're a bit sort of behind us. But anyway, 2nd or 3rd, I would say, from the way this is coming through, of July. It's going to be lovely. And once you are together, things are going to move forward very quickly. It's interesting that you're asking there about predictions. I think November is going to be a significant month for you. Insofar as I see travel, I think you will go away together. And I think that's going to really cement your relationship. You're going to have been together for a long time officially then. And I think this is going to be a very romantic time away where you're really going to grow much closer together.
Amazing. Next one will be for Alyssa, who is asking, will Braxton and Alyssa be getting married this year? They are recently engaged. So we'll be having this year or in the next couple.
Right. Do you know what? I'm getting cross things. It depends on what you want here out of this. And the reason I say this, anyone can go to Las Vegas and have a drive-through wedding and be married. And you can do that quite quickly. Or you can save up and you can have this wonderful, lavish, wedding with all the guests and the fanfare and everything else. I don't see you as a Vegas bride. And I do see you as someone who wants to get married very quickly. So I almost see this inner conflict there between you. But I say you want your day. You want to enjoy it. You want people to be there. You want the pomp and the circumstance and the fanfare and it to be memorable. So I think it's going to be 2025, to be honest with you. But do it early 2025, February, do a Valentine's wedding or something like that. It's not going to be ages and ages away, but I don't think it's going to be the one in 2024. And by the way, I should just say, I'm not criticizing Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. I go there all the time. So if there is anyone from Nevada out there, hello. I'll be back there soon. I love the place. And the people are always very, very nice.
I was just gonna say, just hearing you mention 2025, it also sounded so far away, but then I also realized that it's like it's really not that far.
It's not that far. It's not that
really
far.
Time has really just been flying. So
yeah.
All right. Next question we have here. Also, Charlotte came back and wanted to say thank you. She definitely wanted to connect with you on the app. So thank you for your question, Charlotte.
You're so welcome, Charlotte. Thank you so much for coming through and look forward to speaking to you on the app, definitely.
And another call. Yes, love Las Vegas. Our next question from Fran. Aloha, Zach. What is coming for love? If you can see anything for Fran, anything that is coming up, any new love interests, or any powerful messages that Spirit wants to show her.
Okay, aloha. I take it you're in Hawaii then. How exciting! Well, I don't know if you just say that all the time in America, but it comes through as a Hawaiian to me. Right. Let me see. So yes, there are love interests. I have to look at this because they're coming in both sides. And when you say love interests, it is the plural. That's why I'm getting more than one. So I just need to home in on this. There's going to be a choice to be made here for you, Fran. And it's not going to be an easy choice, but it's going to be you that's making the choice. So in a way, it's a quite nice position to be in, but in a way, it's going to be quite hard because in your mind, you're going to be thinking, am I making the right choice? And for you, this is a bit going to be like the person that's been stood at the bus stop waiting ages and two buses come along at once. And I do literally mean like that. These two people are both going to come in the same month. Most likely August from what's coming through, but the beginning first week actually of August from what's coming through. So that's going to be a significant week for you. I am sort of seeing all flowers, but like surfboard flowers, like on board shorts or whatever you call them. So I think that this person's going to be quite athletic. Possibly a surfer, but certainly I think you're going to meet them in quite a casual environment, let me put it like that. Potentially on a beach somewhere in August. The other person is going to be very different, completely different actually. I'm seeing more business attire. This is somebody who runs their own business, can be quite serious, and I think can potentially struggle with the work-life balance. So that's where there's going to be a bit of a thing, but there's a lot of stability there around that person. You'll have to have a reading near the time to decide which one you're going to go with. But let me tell you, you will have love in the future, most definitely, and an abundance of it. So you're going to be all right there, Fran.
Amazing. All right. That was a great answer, Zach. And now that we have about 15 minutes left, we are going to be switching over to kind of our card pull.
Get my cards.
I guess
ready.
crystal. Paired questions. So we'll be answering questions a little bit faster during these last 15 minutes, just to give a little bit of an extra chance to get those questions answered that we have for our audience today. But while we have everybody in the audience and getting those questions in, now you can ask about just love, general, future, etc. Zach, can you let everybody know the best way to reach you on CaliforniaPsychics.com and the California Psychics app, and the next time you're going to be online in your regular schedule?
Yeah, so you can catch me anyway. I do calls, chats, and you can message me directly on the California app as well. And I can get back to you whenever I'm next online. So I normally work 8 p.m. Pacific time even, and I do that normally for about 5 to 6 hours, so through to about 12:01 in the morning. That you can get me. Obviously, that's slightly earlier if you are on the East Coast. And if you send me a message and I'm not available, I will get back to you as soon as I can. I also got appointments open, so you can book in an appointment if you want to.
Yes. So all of that information can be found on CaliforniaPsychics.com or the California Psychics app. You can click the link in the description of the live stream you're watching right now, and it will pull up Psychic Zack's page, as well as the ability to connect with them one-on-one. In that experience where you are away from the live stream, you can really go back and forth with your question answers and really dive deep into the answers that you're really wanting to get. So go ahead and book with Psychic Zack right after this live stream, but we will be returning next week with our another free preview of California Psychics. Next question. Can we just get a very quick love card for Veronica to start us off? She was ghosted in October after 7 years, and the name is tattooed on his chest. Phil.
And my name is tattooed on his chest. Wow.
Yes.
Right. Well, let's just pull a card at random. What have we got here? Oh, right. So I've got electricity. I'm using my elementary oracle here, so I'll just put that there for you. Electricity is obviously where everything comes together, all the power comes together, all the sparks fly, and it is a very positive card in love in terms of connection. Obviously, it's not positive that you know that you've been ghosted. I know we're only doing a card reading here, but I will just elaborate a bit more. It's a very big thing to get your name tattooed on part of your body. He sees you every day. He sees that every day, and he thinks about you every day. There are a few things going on around him that I pick up on that are causing distraction and concern. But he will be back towards you. We'll probably have to pick it up in a longer reading to look at that in more detail, Veronica. But I do think he'll be back towards you, so it's not always lost, and that card is very positive.
Amazing. Can we get a love card for Andrea next, Zach?
Andrea next, yes, of course. Right, so I've got the cave cards coming through here. Now, caves are all about protection. Now, I think this is relating to you rather than to anybody else. So what I'm sensing here, Andrea, is you've been hurt quite badly in the past. And I think you're sort of going into that protective mode, and you perhaps find it very difficult to let other people in because you're frightened of a repeat of what's happened in the past. I don't see that coming. I think you have to have that belief and have that faith in order to move forward. It's hard to let yourself go. It's hard to allow yourself to love somebody after you've had those knockbacks. But please do, because there are people out there, and there are people that want to be with you and will love you in the way you deserve to be loved.
All right. I guess a future / love card for Tina. And also thank you for your question, by the way, Andrea. Thank you for submitting that. Tina's question, asking for a future / love card for John.
Okay, let's have a look. Right, okay, I've got passion there. Passion's great in its place. We all like a bit of passion. However, you've got to be careful that the passion doesn't become front and center and take over from the substance. So I think you and John are strong, but don't allow it all to be about the intimacy and the passion. You need to lay those solid foundations there and really get the stability to build a long-term relationship on. And if you do that, you will be just fine. But make sure you take the time to do that as well. It can't all be just fun. You've got to get to know each other, get to know what makes each other tick, and make the relevant compromises.
Amazing. Next for Jeanette, a future school card. I guess career as well. School, so for career, yes. But thank you for your question, Jeanette, as well. Career / school card.
Well, that's all right. We'll interpret it with what comes through. There we go. So I've got the mountains coming through here. Mountains are very much grounded. They're stable, solidified, not moving, and literally being the rock upon which everything else is built. So what this is showing, actually, interesting enough, carrying on from what I just said in the previous reading, in a way, this is the opposite. This is you setting down those really solid foundations now by doing what you're doing at school, and that's going to get you to a much better and stronger place in the future. Your career path looks good. I can see that you're a bright person. I can see you put a lot of pressure on yourself. It's good to do that, but please take some time out. You know, it can't be all work and no play. And don't put too much pressure on yourself. A healthy amount of pressure is okay, but if you put too much pressure on yourself, it's going to have the opposite effect, and you can get worn out and tired, and we don't want that.
Well said. And just a reminder, Zach, now we have about 10 minutes left before we get to Jennifer's card pool. Can you remind everybody the very next time you're going to be online on California Psychics and your regular schedule throughout the week for those who
Absolutely. Yeah, so I'll be jumping on right after this to clear my queue. So if anybody wants to jump in it, I don't know how full it is, I can't see it at the moment, but do jump in if you want. I will clear that queue tonight. Otherwise, I will be on from 8 p.m. Pacific time. I'm on Wednesday through Sunday this week, and then my schedule is on for next week. And normally it will be from 8 o'clock on the days I'm working, and I do at least 5 days. Or you can send me a message on the California Psychics app. Or if you want to connect via chat, I do chat readings as well.
Yes, this is our free preview of California Psychics, where we like to give a little bit of a shout out and have our featured psychics, where you can enjoy a free question answer, but also see how California Psychics works and the featured psychics that we have available and the quality assurance that you can know you get whenever you get a reading at California Psychics. So thank you for everybody attending. We still have a few minutes, so don't leave just yet. Jennifer is asking for a career card. Will she be starting a new remote job before July this year?
Okay. I've got wind cards coming through there, Jennifer. In this instance, that's a really good card to have because wind is about change. It's about movement, changing direction. So yes, I think you will. Probably coming in June. I think it's going to really suit you. I know you need that flexibility of working at home, and I sense this is something that you have already looked at and are already aware of.
All right. Next one is going to be for Helen, who is asking for another career card.
Well, this career card, right? Lake, I've got come through here, and Lake is about depth. So obviously you'll be familiar with the saying that things are very shallow. This is about really delving deep into things and making sure you get all the detail. When this comes up in career, it's very often associated with things like law or criminal investigations or something where you really need to dive deep to get all that detail. So I think the job that you're going to move on to is going to be something which involves a lot of analysis, a lot of investigation, a lot of fact finding. Yes, I do think that this job is not too far away. I certainly see you being in this job by July. It's going to take you a bit by surprise, I think, by the amount of work that you've got to do. But you are a grafter, you do work hard, and I do think you will do well. And the money is pretty good, Helen. So stick with it.
All right. Great insight, Zach. Next one for Krista, who's asking for a general card.
Wow. Okay, so that could be anything, but I've just drew this here, which is magnetism here, Krista. So magnetism is, of course, about the law of attraction and attracting everything towards you. So what I would say here is you do come across as somebody who's very spiritual. Do manifest what you want. So this is almost like what people refer to as the cosmic ordering service. This is where you really think about, what is it I want? I'm going to visualize that. I'm going to almost think like I've already got it and attract that towards you. So I would encourage you really to use your gift here, Krista. I think perhaps you underutilize that and you underutilize your power of manifestation. I would encourage you to meditate. I would encourage you to relax. I can sense that there can be quite a bit of tension there around you. Sorry if I'm being a bit personal here, but particularly around the feet. I think you need to get a bit of one of those deep reflexology things there, release that tension and really manifest things towards you, and you will get what you're looking for there.
Awesome. Next one is for Randy with a destiny or love card, please.
Destiny or love? Oh, right. I've got time coming up here, and you probably don't really need to tell you what that means, Randy. It is about being patient and everything happening at its own pace and happening when the time is right and when it is good and ready. From what's coming through here, Randy, I sense that you are frustrated with somebody in your life, and that is causing a bit of impatience. Now, I'm not saying that is wrong because I think there's been knockbacks here, but there is a choice to be made. And what Spirit's telling me specifically about this particular instance is you need to set your own boundaries and your own expectations. So you need to have a line in the sand here about a particular time when you're going to say, now I'm going to walk away from this situation. That is my deadline, okay? So have your time, set that time. If what you want has not achieved by then you need to walk away.
All right. This is just from Amanda, real quick. Not a question, but Amanda, I believe we did actually answer you previously. So if you want to go back once the live stream is over, you could go ahead and review that answer that Zach gave you for Amanda from Facebook. Christine is asking for a love card, Zach. If you we can pull a card for Zach.
Yes.
Or, excuse me.
Okay, I've got voice coming through. This is a really great card. I like it when voice comes through. This is ultimately it's about communication, Christine. And when this card comes through, I encourage people to ask for what they want. And I sense that sometimes you hold back a bit, and you know what you want, and you're almost hoping that somebody's going to reciprocate and give it you, but you haven't actually specified what your expectations are, because perhaps you feel it's a bit presumptuous or you're going to frighten somebody away. But as I always say, if you don't sort of tell people what you want, they're going to find it very difficult to give that to you. And you can do that in a very nice and positive way. So the art of communication there, Christine, is really important. Be yourself, be open, and be honest. And I think the person that's in your life will really appreciate that, and that will help you to move forward.
Amazing. And that was for Christine from YouTube. Zach, but we have a time for a couple more questions, but I want to shout out again the best ways to reach you on CaliforniaPsychics.com or the California Psychics app, where you will be hopping on in just a few minutes if you have people in your call queue, and also
my phone's been going mad, so I think I had to quickly put it on silent. I think it's getting a few messages. Yes, so I will be on directly after this to clear my queue. Otherwise, I will be on from 8 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday of this week, and that is Pacific time. If you do send me a direct message on the California Psychics app, I will respond to them in the order that I receive them, but I do normally manage to get through them all, so that's a quick way of doing it as well.
And when you connect with Zach, you will be in for a treat. We'll be having a one-on-one reading experience with Zach. And also that is featured with any of our psychics on CaliforniaPsychics.com, where you have that one-on-one reading experience away from the live stream, away from everybody else watching. So you can really dive deep into the answers you are looking for and get more personal. And also, if you're having any trouble booking with Psychic Zack, go ahead and call our customer care line. And they will be able to get you at an appointment slot that works for both you and Psychic Zack. This has been an amazing free preview of California Psychics today, featuring Psychic Zack. We have time for just a couple more. Let's go with Carolyn with a general card reading, please.
A general card, right? Let's see what we get here. Oh, so we've got rain come through, which is actually, everyone says, oh, rain, that's a really bad card, but actually it's not. Rain is what waters nature. It's what keeps the world going. It's what keeps everything flowing. Now, obviously, you've asked for a general reading, and I think what a lovely, lovely cards come through for that, because what this is telling me is you are that rain in other people's life in a nice way. You are the water that they drink from, and you are the inspiration that keeps people going, and people don't always tell you that, Carolyn, and I think sometimes that can weigh quite heavy on you, because you are somebody who is actually a healer, I think, from the way this comes through, and you absorb everybody else's problems like a sponge, and then you rain down on everyone so that they can grow, and you provide an awful lot of growth for people. Never underestimate the power that you have on other people's lives, because it's really, really significant, and I can see you're a really wonderful person in everything that you do, and there's a lot of thanks here coming through from Spirit, from the people that you've helped, and they're also telling me here, this is your Spirit guys talking to me actually now, but you've helped somebody very recently, and without that help it could have been a very different story, so a lot of gratitude coming through there.
I think that was a great one to end on with Carolyn. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending our 1 hour free preview of California Psychics this week. We do them every single Monday at the same time. So if you did not get your question answered today, you can either contact Psychic Zack on CaliforniaPsychics.com or California Psychics app, or we will be online again next week at the exact same time, this time with Psychic Rika, if I recall correct on our schedule. And yes, so another live stream where you will have the chance to have your question answered. But if you want a guarantee where you can get that personal one-on-one reading away from prying eyes, you can contact Psychic Zack on CaliforniaPsychics.com or our other talented psychics. It's been a wonderful 1 hour live stream. Thank you, Zack, so much for being here, and thank you so much to our audience for attending as well. I don't know if you want to. Yes.
Yeah, you're so welcome. No, thank you. I love doing these sessions. It's really nice to speak to people that I wouldn't necessarily normally speak to. So thank you all for attending as well. It's been a real pleasure this evening, or morning for you, maybe, where you are.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Again, for all of your burning questions, please go to CaliforniaPsychics.com. Psychic Zack will be online in his call queue on California Psychics. So if you're wanting to get that follow-up and continue that live energy, go ahead and give Psychic Zack a call. Thank you, everybody, once again for attending. And once again, we will be back next week, same time. Thank you, and bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.